Doris Helen, she's here. Who's here?
She's here,
Doris Dear.
It's Doris with a cocktail in hand. She's the perfect housewife. This one might have a man.
Well, maybe.
It's Doris and her dear friends. They live up in the sky. But for the chance to sing and dance, her friends might also buy. It's Doris. It's Doris Dear. She's that girl on the street. She'll show up with a squeak. You'll adore when she knocks on your door. Press her on. It's Doris Dear's Girl Talk.
Hi, dears. Welcome to Doris Dear's Girl Talk. I'm your hostess, Doris Dear, otherwise known as America's Perfect Housewife. Good to see you back in the rumpus room. Now, in the last episode, we read the opening letter to Miss Dahl's book, Always Ask a Man, Arlene Dahl's Key to Femininity, and I promise we continue the journey through the book on each episode. Now, for those not in the know, Arlene Dahl is the mother of that hunka Lorenzo Lamas. Remember him on Falcon Crest? So sit back and let's go to 1965. As a child, I turned to my father for final approval in matters of beauty and fashion. If he didn't like a new dress, it went straight back to the store. My father loved the smell of lavender soap, so I always made certain that I used it lavishly before I presented myself to him for a good night kiss. Yeah, let's just keep reading. All truly feminine women have one basic quality in common. They like men. Male company can make a woman feel warm and content, glamorous and exuberant, interested and interesting. Is it just me, or is it getting kind of warm in the rumpus room? Now these next parts are where it gets especially good. Never upstage a man. Don't top his joke, even if you have to bite your tongue to keep from doing it. Never launch loudly into your own opinions on a subject, whether it's petunias or politics. Heaven forbid. Instead, draw out his ideas to which you can gracefully add your footnotes from time to time. In a restaurant, let your mate or date do the ordering. It's more fun to eat hot dogs with a man than caviar by yourself. Really? You may know more about vintage wines than the wine steward, but if you're smart, you'll let the man do the choosing and be ecstatic over his selection, even if it tastes like shampoo. Well, there you have it. Subservient and quiet is the way to go, according to Miss Dahl, and, well, I guess shampoo is a nice dipping sauce for a nice hors d'oeuvre. Now, I have to say that my mom, Taffy, well, she had her ways with men. She'd sit there at Duke's feet with all the guests around, and she'd listen to every word he said. She knew the time to pounce. She used her quiet time to plan out her attack. Oh, Taffy. Remember, an interested woman is interesting. Well, I think you get the idea. Oh, there's even more coming in our next episode, so mix up a great cocktail, sit back, get comfy, and be transported back to 1965 with Doris Dear and Arlene Dahl. And don't forget, you can find all these stories on my website at www.dorisdear.com/girl, GURL-talk, all one word. Oh, who could that be?
Well, hello, Doris. Oh, hello, Doris.
Masks off!
Okay.
We're COVID safe.
We are.
Here in the rumpus room, we're all vaccinated.
Yes.
Anita Gillette! Hi!
Doris Dear.
I know! It's so nice to see you again.
Good to see you, too.
I know. How
Did
you
anybody
doing?
ever comment on that picture where you were like twice as big as I am?
I know. That's such a great picture in our fabulous Mac Award.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
The most important
Most
award.
important award,
Of
yes.
course, here in New York. So today we're having a little cocktail because, we're saluting the great Hollywood stars through drinking on the Doris Dear show.
God, that's right up my alley.
Me too. So we're drinking the Mary Pickford, one of the most powerful women in Hollywood ever.
But didn't she always play sweet people?
She played sweet. I read women wanted to be her best friend and men just wanted her.
Oh, I see.
But she's amazing. So cheers. Cheers to the Rumpus Room. And
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Day drinking is a good thing in my book.
I agree.
I like that.
I agree.
That's a good way to start.
Wow.
All right.
Wow,
Sit back and let's go, baby.
Kiddo. Okay.
All right. Anita Gillette. So you made your Broadway debut in Gypsy in 1959.
No, 1960.
Oh,
That's always
1960.
been wrong. I don't know why, but they put that there.
Darn you, Wikipedia. So it's 1960.
It's 1960.
And you were the June replacement?
I was.
Oh, see, lots of wrong information
Yeah,
out there.
it is, and I never have joined Wikipedia to go change it, you
Yeah.
know. But I didn't get. I was in a show called Russell Patterson's Sketchbook in 1959, and I won a Theater World Award for that. But Russell Patterson drew these little petty girls, like the girls like with the no clothes on hardly, and they had a picture of us in the paper. We ran like a week, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they had a picture in the paper of people like me with no. I mean, my ass is showing. It was. I was like.
You're a pinup girl.
Yeah, I was in those days. That was kind of neat. But no, then when that closed, somebody, my agent suggested that I go audition for the replacement to Dainty June, the understudy,
yeah.
excuse me. Because Lane Bradbury, who did it originally, she left, and Merle, whose name is now Merle Louise, but then she was called Merle Latout. She took over the role, and they needed somebody to be
Right.
one of the Hollywood blondes, and that's what I did. And then about 2 months after I was there, I realized I was pregnant.
Oh, oops.
I didn't know.
How did Dainty June get pregnant? So you really were a pinup girl.
Yeah, I was married in 57, and I didn't know I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I thought I never would have taken the job if I knew I was going to have a baby. But the good thing about it was that Merman, and everybody talks about Merman like she's tough broad,
Yeah.
and they think that she was mean or she was this or there's so many myths about her. She was tough, yeah, but she was sweet as pie when she wanted to be.
Yeah, and I worked on a movie, and there was a table of older gentlemen who were doing background in a scene, and I immediately went over because that's I don't want to hang out with the 20-year-olds. I want to go get the stories. They were all newsboys in the original production, so there was a whole group of them, and two gals who one of them was in it and another one was in other Broadway shows. I sat for 3 days and just heard stories, and they said the same thing. They said the same thing, that she was tough, but hey, she was a star working in a man's world,
Yeah.
especially back then.
Yeah.
But that she was so great, and they had
She
such
was.
great stories.
Oh, she was wonderful. When I I used to go down because, I mean, to see her do Rose's Turn as many times as I did. I mean, what a lesson if you're just starting in the business and you get to be in the wings with that person. And I would come down from the the fifth floor, wherever we were, in the girls' dressing room with all the big, tall showgirls on one side and the little Hollywood blondes on the other. And I would come down and watch her. And she got used to me being in the wings. She never complained. And then when they were going to fire me because I found out I was pregnant, and I told them, and they said, well, we have to replace you. And she found out, and she came over, she said, oh, no, the kid stays in the show. All right, so she doesn't do the splits. She can still do the cartwheels. You can still do cartwheels, right? Yeah, she can still do the cartwheels. The kid stays in the show.
That's fantastic. I love that. And then
It's true.
12 Broadway shows.
Yeah.
Is that the truth?
It's about 14 if you count the ones that didn't come in.
Oh.
14.
We don't talk about the ones that didn't come in.
Oh, well, I count them.
Oh, well, yeah, you got to count. It's work, right? It's a job.
Yeah.
Sally Bowles' replacement in the original
Oh,
Cabaret.
yeah. I had a great time with that.
Oh, I bet.
It was great. I
And
loved
then,
that.
wait, one of my favorites, Mr. President with Irving Berlin.
You're kidding. It's one of your favorites?
I swear.
I wish you would have been a critic.
I know. But even better than that, wait.
Oh, no. Oh, my.
This was my parents. I have all their records, and here it
Yeah.
is.
Oh, yep.
Come on, Anita Gillette.
That's right.
Julie Wilson.
God.
Oh my God, Frank Gorshin.
You see the difference between his name and our names?
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's very minor, but it was in both of our, Julie's and my contracts, that nobody would be bigger than we were. And we were all supposed to be over the title. We allowed the top, that he would get first, but then we got second and third, with the same size. They screwed it up, and
Oh.
I didn't say the F word, but they screwed it up, and my agent said, well, we can do something with this, because it was too late.
Yeah.
Everything was printed. Everything was, so I got all my wigs. I got my silver lame gown. I got $250 more a week. Because of a mistake.
And there's a wonderful on the back. There's this great picture of you.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's there's some good songs in there.
Yeah, you have your big solo. OG.
Yeah, well, that's a little
I know.
chippy number. But
A minute.
Jimmy-
It's a minute 25. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jimmy is the big one.
So I, of course, had to
Did you
ask-
listen to it?
Oh, yes, of course. I have my record player. And then I called my good friend, Jack Viertel.
Oh my God.
And I said, Jack, so got any info on Jimmy? Like, he's the man who knows that. He wrote the book. He
I
wrote that
know.
great book. And he said, well, I was about 13 years old, and I went to see Jimmy. And Anita Gillette made me realize what a hot woman was. So there you
Wow.
go. He said, man, she is talented, and man, she was something to that 13-year-old boy in the audience.
That's really
Jack
nice to hear.
Viertel, Vice President of Jansen Theaters.
Yeah,
Hey, now.
wow.
Come on.
That was
All right, you
good.
did
Thank you.
Carnival, All American, Mr. President, Kelly Jimmy, Guys and Dolls, Don't Drink the Water, Cabaret. They're playing our song, Brighton Beach Memoirs, Chapter 2, nominated for a Tony Award, Best
Yeah,
Actress.
that was my breakthrough.
Yeah.
I knew that you couldn't keep singing forever because, I studied with a teacher from the Peabody Conservatory. I'm from Baltimore. Baltimore, hun.
Walmart. I went to University of Maryland.
No kidding.
I swear.
Oh, my God. You know
Get me a towel. Get me a towel.
on the road. Do it on the road. Yeah. It was the hairdo capital of the world. You would fit, right? Doris would be perfect.
I'm a hairspray girl if ever was one. I mean, come on.
Oh.
You got the 1960 Theater Award for your performance in Russell Patterson's sketchbook.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, first television appearance, Ed Sullivan Show, 1963. Is that true?
No, because when I took over in Carnival, I was hired for the Anna Maria Alberghetti's understudy.
Oh.
And it was late in the hiring, and I had just finished nursing my baby. So I was plump, and I had really red hair. Now with this pandemic, I'm letting it go. I'm like calico is the color of my hair.
Well, I think calico's a good color. Why not?
I don't know. Anyway, where was I?
Anna Maria Alberghetti.
Anna Maria Alberghetti. Thank you very much. So I looked about as much like a European waif, starving waif, as Sophie Tucker. I mean, I didn't fit it at all, but I could sing it, and I had a youthful appearance, But my hair got dyed red in Gypsy. All those tall showgirls decided I should be a redhead. And, we had the whole first act to do nothing. So they decided.
So you dyed your hair?
They dyed my hair. The stuff that went on in that dressing room. But
Well,
anyway.
that's a whole show.
Yeah. So when I took over I was going to get fired out of Carnival because Gower didn't like the way I looked.
Oh.
Well, he hired me for that, but it didn't give me time to get the weight off or
Right.
learn the role. I'd started doing, stuff to my hair, but I was in the chorus as well, so we didn't have a lot of time I didn't have a lot of time to get back to where I should be. And they had 5 days out of town, the first place out of town, to pick up the option to sign me to a run of the play contract and pay me $25 more a week. And the 5 days was almost up.
Oh boy.
And I was thinking, oh my God, they're not going to pick up. And I'm banging a tambourine as a gypsy, in the chorus. And I'm thinking, oh, what am I doing here? Anyway, when we never had a rehearsal, they called a rehearsal. And Gower wanted to see. Well, we hadn't rehearsed. None of us. And Gower walked in one door and out the other door. And then they called me to the audience where he was directing a scene with Kay Ballard and Jimmy Mitchell. And I'm sitting there like this, and he's looking straight ahead. He said, yeah, Kay, I want you to cross on that. Well, Anita, we've decided that. No, not on that line. We decided that you're not right. No. We didn't get. And he fired me like that. And it was like, he was directing the scene. He didn't want to get interrupted by just firing me. And he finally said, so we've decided that, we'd still like you to stay as a gypsy, but we're going to look for somebody else for them. No, not there. Oh my God. In the meantime, I'm like ready to burst. And that's how I got fired.
But did you stay in the show?
I decided to stay in the show because...
But did they take away your extra $25 a week?
They didn't give it to me. I was there for $175, so I kept auditioning.
Baby, you were rolling in it.
Yeah.
Come on, $175 a week. Woo! Howard Johnson's Here We Come for a hot dog.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on.
So then I have to tell just the capper of this. That is that I gave my notice in on a Saturday night. By then, I'd lost the weight. I'd learned the part. Charlie Blackwell, the most wonderful stage manager in the world, really drilled it. Said you're going to do this and you'll be wonderful in it. And I learned the part, and I gave my notice on a Saturday night because I got another job in The Gay Life, which is another Broadway show that I was cut out of later, but I gave my note, and she went to the hospital on Sunday morning, Anna Maria.
My God.
And they called me, and I said, "Oh yeah, sure." I mean,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that she had a crush on Gower. Whenever he'd come to the theater, she would faint, and I'd get in costume, and she would get up. I'm
going to try that. I think I should faint and just,
Yeah, just faint. Oh, God. But then I did go on, and that was a big deal. And so I did go on the Jack Parr show. I went on Mike Wallace, all the talk shows, Mike Douglas. And, they called me because they wanted the story.
How exciting that was. What an exciting time, though. I mean,
was.
Those shows were so huge, and the audience don't even compare to what people watch now. I mean, like, there were millions, and half of America would be watching one of those shows.
You're right.
I mean, the kind of coverage you would get as an artist, that's amazing.
It was a lot.
And Ed Sullivan, I mean,
oh, yeah.
like, what, 70 million people would watch Ed Sullivan? Imagine that. Now you're lucky you get, like, a million people watched me last night. Oh, well, that's nothing. Lucy had 70 million on her when she had a baby.
No, it was something.
God,
it was really
amazing. Now, I have to talk about some of your TV work because I'm so in love with this.
What?
In the 70s, Me and the Chimp with Ted
God.
Bessel.
Oh, good God.
That's worth a sip of cocktail. I love Ted Russell. That girl is my life, and I loved him. But I remember that show. I remember watching you in that with him.
Really?
Oh,
You
how do
must
you
have
forget?
been like 3 years old or something.
Oh my gosh! No, that was the '70s. But thank you, Julie.
Yeah.
Those overnight patches are working. But I loved that. But then you did Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice with Robert Urich and Jodie Foster was in it.
Jodie was my daughter.
What a great!
She's a wonderful person. And she ended up marrying one of my best friend's daughters. And I knew Alexandra, Hedison.
Yeah.
She married her. And I was it was like the two of my favorite people got married.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was really nice, yeah.
And then, of course, we have to talk about Moonstruck. I mean, come on. Now, before you did Moonstruck, though, you really became known doing all these game shows.
That's true.
I mean, because I remember as a kid watching Password and all those shows. I mean,
Pyramid.
Oh, Pyramid. I mean, you were on all of those shows. I mean, people really knew Anita Gillette. Oh, she's on Pyramid, and then she's on this one, and then you were on all of that.
I did. I was very lucky. A lot of people said if you're a serious actress, you don't do those things. And I said, I'm also from a family that didn't have a lot of money, and I say up my pension, man.
Absolutely.
And I'm equity all the time, and anytime I can get a SAG or AFTRA job, I'm going to do it. And I that's how my pensions stay nice, and that's how I stay solid today.
Oh, you're solid, baby.
Especially my ex.
But Moonstruck with Cher. Now you're Mona the Mistress. Everybody knows that movie is amazing.
It's a classic.
It's a classic, but you're so fantastic. There's the scene you're in the bathroom and you're putting lipstick on.
Oh, I'm rouging.
You're rouging. That is so. That's you, I bet.
That was me.
That was you.
I.
That was
Predicate
I.
nominative.
Oh,
Yeah. I was a medical secretary, so
Oh, these big words. But tell me about that scene, because I thought that seems like something an actress who's in the moment in her role says, this is what she would do.
Yeah, they wanted a scene in the ladies' room where we run into each other and don't know who each other are, and that's why it's such a big thing when she discovers that I am, when she said pop, and we turn around and that picture of the two of us is priceless. It's really a good shot because we were like frozen.
Yeah.
But I thought, what'll I do? Putting on your lipstick isn't that great.
Yeah.
And I thought of, getting the brush and rouging and Norman Jewison said, Anita, what is that? Women don't do that. I said, Mona does. And he said, okay. And he let it stay, and I get more, I get people like that. They remember
Well,
that.
and I think if you're an actor, which I'm an actor, get me a gig. But
You are an actor.
But if you're an actor, you see that, and you there are moments in movies that okay, they've been directed to do things, but there are those moments where it just feels like such an organic moment that you just know the actor said, I need to do this. Let me try it, and we'll see how it goes.
I'm so glad you noticed
Yeah,
that.
it's really great, because then, as you said, then when you see each other, there's that, holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so terrific.
Yeah, I thought it should be something that would be noticeable, but not too out of the question. Right. But she's sort of out of the question anyway. I mean, she still thinks she's like 30, she's certain, I mean.
I know, I might have rouged myself a little today. I don't know.
Oh, God.
And of course, if you want to know about Anita, just go to IMDb. You have the longest page in the world.
I
It's
do?
oh my gosh. Do you not check these things? Come on.
I know, I don't.
Oh my God, you scroll and you scroll and you scroll, and there's
Christmas.
pictures that's forever and ever in Wikipedia, which apparently has a lot of wrong
It has
information.
a lot of wrong. Yeah, you're right.
And it's hard to correct. That's the hard thing about Wikipedia. If you don't own that page, which you have to pay a lot of money to do that.
I guess. I don't know.
It's really hard to correct. But of course, we're going to finish and we're going to toast your Lifetime Achievement Award 2020 with the MAC Awards. Because here in New York, this is when I met you.
Yeah.
The MAC Awards are everything. It's for us cabaret kids.
Oh, hun, it was,
And you're
just-
great. You have that great show. Is it the Leonard Bernstein show? Wait, what show do you do? Your big cabaret?
Irving Berlin.
The
Me
big,
and Mr. B.
You did it
and
at
Mr.
Birdland, right?
I did.
Yeah.
And I did it in London, and I did it in, just...
Well, now she's just bragging.
No, I don't get a lot of gigs. Oh, I love you.
Well, cheers. Here's to marvelous. Thank you for coming to the Rumpus Room.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your
Thank you
wonderful
for doing
journey.
this show. Will you please keep going? This is lovely.
Nothing's
what
going to
you
stop
do.
us, right?
Nothing's going to stop you, babe.
Cheers. Well,
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Welcome to the Bar Cart, the place where we make the cocktails we drink here in the Rumpus Room. Now, on today's show, we enjoyed a smooth, blushing cocktail named after one of the biggest stars in Hollywood history. Continuing our salute to drinks named after Hollywood stars, I present a new favorite, the Doris Dear Mary Pickford. Now, let me say this. I'm sure most don't remember the amazing Hollywood star and shaker, but let me tell you, you need to look her up. She was a powerhouse woman of Hollywood. I mean, Mary Pickford was the first female Hollywood superstar, known early on in her career as the Biograph Girl, Blondie Locks, the girl with the curls, and she eventually attained the title of Queen of the Movies, or better yet, America's sweetheart. Men wanted to marry her, women wanted to be her best friend. Now, she and Charlie Chaplin were the stars of their time. She was one of the earliest stars to be actually billed under her own name. Imagine. She co-founded the company United Artists, offering independent film producers access to its screens. And as co-founder as well as producer and star of her own films, Pickford became the most powerful woman who's ever worked in Hollywood. She was also a co-founder of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, the Oscars. Yeah, well, this cocktail is said to have been created for her in the 1920s by a bartender who fled to Cuba during Prohibition and worked at the Hotel Nacional de Cuba on a trip that she took to Havana with Charlie Chaplin and Douglas Fairbanks, whose drinks we also celebrate. But after my deep research, well, none of that made sense because, well, first of all, the hotel mentioned didn't even open until the 1930s, and actually under that name, 1939. So even after more research, I need an assistant. It seems the story is, well, completely untrue. Yep, it was a cocktail invented in the 1920s, probably in Cuba, but, well, she never went there with Chaplin or Fairbanks. But even so, it was a hugely popular cocktail, most likely invented in Cuba, full of tropical flavors. It seems to have first appeared in print in 1928 in a published book by British playwright and journalist Basil Woon, which captured the energy that took hold of Havana as Americans flocked by the thousands to drink, gamble, and party. Sounds like my Saturdays. Amid the tropical beauty that is Cuba during Prohibition. So I present to you my version of this delish, blushing cocktail, ladies and gentlemen, the Doris Dear Mary Pickford. Now, combine in a shaker full of ice 2 ounces of white rum. Oh, I love rum. That sweet tropical flavor. 1 ounce of pineapple juice. Tropical. Oh, ding. A bar spoon of grenadine, real grenadine. A bar spoon of maraschino liqueur. And we shake that up. Shake with ice. Strain into a coupe glass. Oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? And we're garnishing that with real maraschino cherries, or 2. Cheers! Well, I hope you enjoyed your stay in the Rumpus Room today. You know, I do love when friends drop by and we share some fun ideas and bring some joy to the world. Now, don't forget, head over to www.dorisdear.com/girl-talk for all the recipes and hints from today's show. I hope you'll drop by the Rumpus Room again for more Doris Dear's Girl Talk. Stay safe and hugs and love from Doris Dear. And remember, you could probably say this with me by now, a dress doesn't get you anywhere. It's the life you live in the dress that matters. See you soon. Cheers. Tropical. Oh, and I'm ready for my Oscar. There. Cheers.
It's Doris Dear. She's that girl on the street. She'll show up with a sweet. You'll adore when she knocks on your door.